Hey there, YouTube. WhiskeyCactus here, welcoming you back to our Pokemon Scarlet and Violet VGC Ranked Doubles Battle Stadium content on the channel. We are on our second episode with this team. We did use this same team in the previous episode, so if you haven't seen that, make sure to go and check it out. But this is our second episode with this team. This is an Indeedee Armarouge team, which we have not had a chance to feature yet. But basically the idea is that we have Indeedee female here with Psychic Surge, Psychic Seed, bulked out physically with HP and defense, and then with the Psychic Seed we get a special defense boost in the Psychic Terrain. It is Terra Fairy for defensive purposes. I could potentially run Dazzling Gleam on it. I know people are starting to do that, I think. But this one does have Psychic. It also has Follow Me and Helping Hand. With the idea being that Helping Hand can boost, well, it can boost a number of things, but it can specifically boost Expanding Force from Flamberge over here, and Follow Me also gives you the ability to redirect and set up Trick Room. So Flamberge is over here with Expanding Force and Armor Cannon for Stab, Psychic, and Fire. Expanding Force becomes a double target move in Psychic Terrain, so with help from Indeedee, we can get a nice little combo going. Haven't gotten a chance to use that combo yet. People know that combo, so it is a little bit tough to get it going. There's not always a lot of options to get it set up. But we do have Trick Room on here in case we want to use the Trick Room option. We can also run a Tailwind option with Armarouge. With this speed stat, it gets pretty fast under Tailwind. And we are using Tailwind on our Hydreigon over here. We'll get to that in a moment. But this is a nice bulky Armarouge with Life Orb to complement this very high special attack stat. So it can get a lot of damage off, even if it's not being in Psychic Terrain with Expanding Force. We have Torkoal here for coverage under Trick Room. If we do manage to get Trick Room set up, we can bring in Torkoal to go ahead and do Eruption shenanigans with Heat Wave, Earth Power, and Solar Beam as other options, but this is a Choice Specs Torkoal, so it does quite a lot of damage with Eruption, if it can go off first. Tough to do, but with Trick Room, it is possible. We also have Amoonguss here, who also appreciates Trick Room. Doesn't necessarily require Trick Room, but does, like to have, some speed if it wants to get a really fast Spore, which we've seen it do in the previous episode, actually. But it also has Clear Smog and Rage Powder, just to be a nuisance with redirection and stat clearing, and also Regenerator and Wikiberry. So that's there. We also have Tailwind support with Hydreigon, as I mentioned before. This is a Focus Sash Hydreigon, which, as a matter of fact, came in absolutely clutch in the second battle of our first episode, and really made a difference. This thing can take a Fairy-type move or a super effective Dragon-type move because of that Focus Sash. So it's really, really helpful. That was kind of thrown on because my Choice Specs and my Life Orb are both taken, and I don't really have much of an option for this unless I wanted to use like Hobbenberry or something. But honestly, Focus Sash mattered in one of those battles, so you know what? I'll take it. But this is a Tailwind setter, and this team does appreciate Tailwind if it's not running Trick Room, so Draco Meteor and Dark Pulse for stab coverage, and then the ability to protect as well. And then last, bringing up the rear, we have Mojito, our Meowscarada, running Choice Band. In a perfect world, I would like to run this as Focus Sash, but I can't do that with Hydreigon hogging the Focus Sash, and if I take the Focus Sash for Meowscarada, Hydreigon really doesn't have much. So we're running Choice Band here. It does a lot of damage, but this is a very frail cat, so we gotta be very careful. But Flower Trick with Grass, Terra on it coming off a Choice Band, it just kills everything. And when I say everything, I mean things that even resist it. It doesn't matter. It will kill it. U-turn to be able to pivot out, and then knock off and Sucker Punch for Dark, Stab, and for, just utility, right? Knocking off an item or getting priority. So that's all great. That's the team. We're going to go ahead and take this into the Battle Stadium and see if we can come out ahead. So here's the team. The rental code is up there in the top corner, NTBCM4, if you want to take this team and use it on your own. The rental code is also in the description. So let's go ahead and hop on the ladder and see if we can get out of rank 4. We have been trapped there ever since, like, episode 1. But here we go. We are 6-4 is our current record. We're 1-1 with this team. Let's jump on the ladder and see if we can make some progress today. So, we gotta be a little more careful, I think, with how we use Armarouge. Okay, we've got Palafin, Murkrow, Goldengo, Amoonguss, Toxapex. This is the second time we've seen Toxapex. That's very interesting. So this team feels fairly. I'm hesitant to say weak to Trick Room, but this is a very fast team, other than Toxapex and Amoonguss, but they don't put forth a whole lot of offensive pressure. Part of me thinks we go Hydreigon and Armarouge. We can get Tailwind to match the Tailwind from the Murkrow, and we can Trick Room if we need to. We definitely want Meowscarada in the back. Question is, who else do we want in the back? Do we want Torkoal? If we are going with a Trick Room option, Torkoal would be very good, but Torkoal honestly isn't very effective here with most of this team. At least half of it resists. So, I mean, Goldengo and Amoonguss don't appreciate it, but that's kind of about it. Plus, we already have Fire here with Flamberge. Kind of thinking Amoonguss might appreciate the work. If we can get Amoonguss to spore some things, it can tank some hits. I don't really get the sense that Indeedee is that important, but if we do get Trick Room up, then it may be helpful to get Indeedee in here. And also redirection. You know what? I'm going to bring Indeedee in the back. Having some redirection for Meowscarada in the late game, and being able to bring in Indeedee to get Armarouge beefed up might be helpful in the short game as well. So let's see how we do. I don't know. The more I play with this team, the more I'm thinking there's something about it there's a piece missing. I'm not entirely sure. So we have Goldengo, Palafin, which is interesting. We have Armarouge, Hydreigon here. So this is... they're going to dare me. They're going to dare me to protect Armarouge, right? That feels like the play. I kind of feel... We're not going Tailwind here. So I think they're not going Tailwind. We could go Tailwind. They don't really have a way to hit Hydreigon at the moment. So I think Tailwind makes sense. And then I think we just maybe Terrastalize and Armor Cannon the Goldengo. Do I want to Terrastalize? It protects against the Palafin. But... yeah, I want to do that. Maybe it's a bit reckless. But I'm going to Terrastalize. That's going to protect against super effective damage from Palafin. Feels like a bit of a mistake, if I'm being honest. I don't know. I don't know. We're going to have Tailwind up. Right? I don't want to protect, because I don't want to play passively like that. We got the Tailwind. I think, unless that's Scarf Palafin, we should outspeed. We are going to get some massive damage here onto Goldengo. That it just one-shots. That's what I want to see. So Palafin either has to flip turn, or it can just... well, it's not going to switch, right? So it could... yeah, it's going to flip turn. I kind of figured that. So it still does a lot of damage. We did drop our defense. So that's a bit tough. So we do have Hero Mode Palafin in the back, and it actually can just come right in. That's, you know, Well, we know it's not Scarf. We do know it's not Scarf. Okay, so the Garchomp comes in. So this is interesting. I think I'm going to switch into the Indeedee, and then we're just going to go for an Expanding Force. I don't get the sense that they can do much about that at the moment. I don't think you get any kind of priority. And we're going to get some massive damage here on both these Pokemon. I think the Toxapex is going to drop. Nice and easy. It depends on if there might be some Protect. We'll see if there's any protecting. We'll get Psychic Seed here. Get nice and bulky on the Indeedee. We're preserving our Hydreigon in the back. We do have Tailwind. So we should be outspeeding this Garchomp. going to be ground Garchomp. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know if it's going to take this hit. It might take it. It might take the hit. It's possible. Baneful Bunker. Okay, that's fine. We're not making direct contact, so I'm not too worried about that. Expanding Force is going to outspeed. Let's see how much damage we do to this Garchomp. Should do a hell of a lot. Yeah, it's just going to take it out. Yeah. Yeah, that's, Yeah. I mean, that's exactly kind of what you expect, right? That's what this strategy does. That is what this strategy is really for. So we're going to have the Palafin come in, for sure. And I am expecting a Jet Punch. That's why we have Redirection. So we're going to go ahead and redirect with a Follow Me. So that we get the Jet Punch into the Indeedee, and then I think we just click Expanding Force again, and it might be the end of it. It's tough to get this strategy going, because people know what it does. But if you can get it going, it goes. It really goes. So we'll take the Jet Punch. Which actually, you know what? I didn't even need to guard against the Jet Punch. Because of the Psychic Terrain. He didn't remember that either, but I really have to remember that. So there we go. And that is a clean win. That is a very clean win. That is just the power of Indeedee Armarouge. And again, like, some strategies, I mean, if you know what they are, right, you can play around them. But if you let it get set up, even if you know it's coming, it's tough to beat. And that just seemed like a perfect opportunity to take advantage of it. So that's just kind of how it goes. I don't know how they could have gotten around it necessarily, but that for sure was a good opportunity to bring it. And I'm glad that I made the switch into Indeedee, because I don't know if we got some of those knockouts without it. But here we go. We're going to jump into another battle. Hopefully we can have a similar showing like that one. And maybe, just maybe, get out of rank 4. So, oh god, we have, okay, we have Lycanroc Dusk form. I don't know what that does at all. Gothitelle is going to be annoying with being trapped in. I wonder if any of these Pokemon do any kind of Perish Song nonsense. But we do have Cyclizar, which is interesting. That's going to be Shed Tail in all likelihood. Murkrow, of course, and Meowscarada. So I think... I don't get the sense that Expanding Force Psychic Terrain stuff is going to be that good here. There's multiple Dark types and a Psychic type that's going to kind of resist a lot of it. So let's see. We have... do we want to try to get Trick Room up at all? I don't know. This is a pretty fast team, so I think we might want to try to do that. I think, again, honestly, Armarouge and Hydreigon lead has been really good. I think we definitely still want Mojito in the back, and I think I'm going to appreciate having a Moongus for this one. But Cyclizar is giving me a little bit of worry here, because I know it gets good coverage moves, and I know it has Shed Tail, which can be very dangerous if it's allowed to just, like, kind of set up. So we are going to see Murkrow and Salamence, which is interesting. So that's, in all likelihood, going to be some kind of Tailwind, and, yeah, I don't care about your Intimidate. But Tailwind, and I don't know what Salamence is going to want to do here, but I do kind of get the sense that I want to... Ooh, do I want a Tailwind? I feel like if they Tailwind, I'm going to need to have a Tailwind up, right? So I feel like I have to Tailwind. And then we need... I'm going to be cheeky. I'm going to be real cheeky. I am going to be so cheeky. This is going to be a Draco Meteor, right? Or a Dragon Claw? Okay, we're going to live that, though, because we have a Focus Sash. We didn't need it, but we did have it. So we're going to set our own Tailwind, and then we're going to go ahead, and we're going to Trick Room. So, now we match. We're back to 0. The Tailwinds cancel out, and we Trick Room, and we should be faster, I think. I don't know if... maybe I shouldn't have Tailwinded. now I'm thinking about it, right? But we can get a nice Do I want to go Armor Cannon or Expanding Force? I think, actually, you know what I want to do here? I didn't bring the Indeedee, but I want to switch out into a Mungus. And I want to go Expanding Force. Yeah, let's go Expanding Force into the Salamence. Yeah, on second thought, the Tailwind probably didn't need to happen. Oh, that was huge. I'll take that. And the Foul Play, that's going to do some damage, but not a whole lot. We are a special attacker, right? So, and there we go, yeah. Definitely wanted that. So now we get a nice fast Spore off into the Murkrow, and we should be able to get an Expanding Force. Although, maybe I should go Armor Cannon. I think we go Armor Cannon in the event that they switch the Salamence out. Oh, interesting. What kind of Salamence is this going to be? Steel type. Oh, I got some bad news for you. I got some bad news for you. As a matter of fact. Oh. Should have saw that coming. Should have saw that coming. I definitely should have seen that coming. That's okay, because we're going to do... Didn't protect, so we're going to take out the Salamence here and waste their Terrestrialization. So I'm good with that. That's... You know what? That's an okay trade. That is an okay trade in my book. So we're going to see what happens now. Who comes on in? You know what? Here's the justification for the Tailwind Trick Room. In case either of them got taunted by Murkrow. Right? Okay, so the question now is Lycanroc going to do the thing where it does that thing that it does? And that thing that it does is Endure and then Endeavor. Is that what it's going to do? Because if that's what it's going to do, then I don't want any part of that. So I'm going to hard swap into Hydreigon. And I am going to go for full damage on this Murkrow. And if we go for like an Accelerock, or if we go for some kind of, yeah, that I should have seen that coming. I was thinking Rock Slide, and then I remembered it was Dusk Form, and yeah, it gets Accelerock. That was not ideal. And actually, I just let them get a double knockout. I totally forgot about the Accelerock. Man, this is where we would have been real great to have Indeedee, right? I should have brought Indeedee over the Amoonguss. But what we can do here. So this is going to be interesting. So we have how many turns of Trick Room? We have one. This is our last turn of Trick Room. So what we want to do here is we're going to get a taunt, right? So what we need then is a Flower Trick onto Lycanroc, and then we want to get a nice Rage Powder off. So that's fine. You know what? I'm okay with that, right? Because if we get a taunt, it doesn't matter. We get the Rage Powder, so they're going to have to hit the Amoonguss. Meowscarada doesn't get hit. So we're going to lock into Flower Trick. I'm okay with Flower Trick. Being locked into that. We have preserved our Terrestrialization, so we can use that for Meowscarada, which I'm perfectly happy to do. Trick Room's over, so we're going to be fast. We will Terrestrialize. We will go ahead and hit that, and then we have to attack, unfortunately. So we'll just Clear Smog into the Murkrow. So Amoonguss, Taunt Murkrow really has... Amoonguss struggles a lot with that, which is very interesting. I'm not expecting a Brave Bird off of this Murkrow because it did show Foul Play, and I'm assuming it's going to be a standard Murkrow set. Foul Play, Haze, Taunt, and Tailwind. So the Accelerock, it still does a lot. It still really does a lot. I hope this thing isn't Focus Sash. That might be a problem. I mean, you can... Yeah, Okay, it's not Focus Sash. I was going to say, with the Tailwind going up, they're using priority anyway, but if it did end up going for Endeavor, that could have been a big problem. So let's see who comes in next. Who is going to come in next? It is going to be Cyclizar, which is very interesting They can't really shed tail, but I think this thing does get overheat, which I'm a bit worried about. And we do have to... Oh. This is going to be tough. It's going to U-turn into the Amoonguss, which I'm okay with. It's going to foul play. That's going to... Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're getting out of rank 4 today. Yeah, I definitely think the... Are we still taunted? Yeah, we're still taunted. All right. I think we'll go ahead and forfeit. So that's fine. I think instead of the Amoonguss, it seemed like Indeedee really would have helped there, especially considering they only had the Murkrow as far as hard counters to Indeedee. And maybe not going for the Tailwind on the Hydreigon would have been helpful too if we would have just gone straight for like Draco Meteor onto the Salamence. I have to trust more in the Focus Sash. I should know better than to doubt the Focus Sash, especially considering our last episode. So we are going to go ahead and do one more battle because we have time for that. So let's see if we can get the hang of piloting this team a little better. So Tailwind Trick Room is an interesting option, but it's something that has to be really carefully considered. I don't think it was necessary, because they set up their own Tailwind, and if I hadn't set Tailwind... Well, see, the problem is... Oh, okay. The problem is... the Salamence would have moved first, right? So that was part of the issue. However, again, the Focus Sash is there, right? So we need to trust that the Focus Sash would have protected me. So this is an interesting team. We have Quaquaval, we have Tyranitar, we have Armarouge, we have Scizor, Bellabolt, and Dragapult. So this looks like it could potentially have a Trick Room mode, but I don't really think it's going to. Quaquaval is very scary. And I think Mojito might be a decent counter to it, but not, like, super great. Dragapult is also very scary, puts on a lot of offensive pressure. Scizor, I don't know that Scizor really works well against this team. I am not too worried about the Scizor. The Armarouge, I don't have great answers for, other than maybe Fairy Food. So I think... I'm kind of thinking Hydreigon Mojito. Fairy Food Mojito is a lead. We can pivot out with Mojito if we have to. But what do we want to have in the back? I think we want to have Armarouge. Because Armarouge can... Oh, actually, honestly, I don't know that Armarouge really puts on a lot of offensive pressure here. Actually, it does. I think it does. And then I'm gonna go with Indeedee in the back. Maybe that's a mistake. Maybe I should go with Amoonguss. But... Amoonguss just hasn't seemed to really have a lot of presence. Haven't noticed Amoonguss being very good most of the time. So I think Indeedee gives me redirection better than Amoonguss does with some more options. And so I think that's the route I want to take here. So we've got these guys. I really do not know what these guys want to do. So that's very interesting. So Dragapult is going to outspeed me for sure. It can't kill me. So I'm just going to Draco Meteor it. And then I don't know what I want to do with the Bellabolt. I think I'm going to trust in a U-turn on it. Goes for Will-O-Wisp. That's not ideal. That's not ideal, but it's okay, because we have Choice Band. With Choice Band, obviously we don't want, that was silly. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. That felt not great. Okay, so let's get Indeedee in here so that we can get rid of any of their priority moves. I'm not sure if they have any priority moves, but we'll get Indeedee in here. That will give me some redirection. We can get this Dragapult out of here with a nice Draco Meteor. It's down to Sash. Is it Sash? It is Sash, okay. So that's not bad. Question is, do we want to try to hard switch? I don't know that we want to try to hard switch. We are going to get a light screen up. That's interesting. Okay. So light screen is up. That's leftovers, Bellabolt. Alright. So I think at this point I do want a hard switch. And now I'm wondering if Meowscarada is that important. I think we switch in Meowscarada. And we can go for a Psychic, Terrain, boosted Psychic, right? Or we could go ahead and Protect, which feels a bit bad. But let's go for the Protect. Let's go for the Protect, because I can easily see like a Phantom Force or something coming in here. Or a Shadow Ball or something. Actually, no, I can't use Shadow Ball. That was silly. That was a bit silly. Is Dragon Dartsing. Okay, well, you know what? That's okay, because kind of the idea here, the idea really kind of was to sacrifice Meowscarada. So I'm okay with that. So what we can do, we can't Sucker Punch because of the Psychic Terrain. So what I want to do is I want to get one more turn out of this Meowscarada. I don't know that we're not gonna outspeed the Dragapult. So if we go down, that's okay. But if we can get a nice Flower Trick into this guy, it would be very helpful. And we can go ahead and follow me. So the burn is going to... Yeah, we'll take that hit. That's fine. I'll take that. The burn is going to affect the crit, but otherwise it's not a big deal. So we get some damage off on this thing. I honestly don't know that this thing is really... This thing's going to be an issue. Honestly. This thing's going to be an issue. I'm not exactly sure what I can really do about it. Meowscarada's still hanging on. I kind of wanted Meowscarada to go down there. I guess I should have just not done redirection. Alright, so let's... Alright, at this point, we might as well just keep up with the follow me, right? And get rid of the Dragapult. At the very least. So we'll see how much we have in terms of Psychic Terrain. Alright, so the Dragapult's down. The Bellabolt is still here. It's just getting buffed up, and I'm kind of letting it happen, and that's not great. Right? So it's going to Charge Beam. We are going to get the Meowscarada. The Meowscarada was going down anyway, right? Because it was just going to go down anyway. So now we have what I'm hoping is going to be Expanding Force in the Psychic Terrain. We'll see what they have to hit us with. I'm not sure what other Pokemon they're going to bring out. That sounds like a Tyranitar. Okay. So that's not ideal. That's going to be tough. That's going to wall us pretty good. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to want to Terrasilize Psychic and go for an Armor Cannon. Yeah, this is going to be tough to come back from, I think. And we have to Draco Meteor into the Tyranitar, unfortunately. That does nothing. Yeah, this is a problem. Alright, well. I thought I Terra'd Psychic. Did I, like, back out of that? Jesus. Alright, yeah, we really don't want to let that thing get set up. Man, okay, so, yeah. This team, starting to think that first team might be the better of the two teams. I really thought this team was going to be a little bit more impactful, but we're really struggling to get any damage off with it. Except in cases where we are not struggling, right? You know, sometimes we don't struggle, sometimes we do. I'm gonna stick it out. I'm not gonna give up. But yeah, I think the biggest problem this team has, what I'm noticing here, is that other than Hydreigon, right? It doesn't really have another way to hit things. That's a weird thing to say, right? But like, we have Meowscarada who can hit hard, but it's really frail. Hydreigon's here. He can kind of like take some hits and be around, right? But the biggest problem is I'm kind of left with Indeedee, Torkoal, and Amoonguss. And that's half my team that feels like I don't necessarily want to bring it most of the time, right? So that's a little interesting. Sometimes when I do bring, kind of banking on a miss there, you know, see if it's possible to get a miss. Right? We'll see. I mean, I don't know. I feel like with Indeedee, Torkoal, and Amoonguss, the offensive pressure of this team is not high enough. Which, if we can get set up for the gimmicks, that's okay. If we can get like Indeedee, Armarouge, and then have Hydreigon and Meowscarada in the back, or if we can pivot and get Indeedee out there or whatever, that's pretty good. But if we can't do that, this team has been struggling to get damage done. And that seems to be a pretty heavy weakness. So right now we are, 2-3 with this team? So it's not a great record. We went 4-0 with the first team at the beginning, right? So that's interesting. We're going to quit battling. And then I'm going to very quickly just go back to the team and look at it real quick. So let's see. This definitely feels like a team building issue. So what I notice when I look at this team, right, is, again, the offensive pressure is fairly low. I think Amoonguss doesn't need to be here. Amoonguss really does feel like a weak link, and honestly, Torkoal might be a weak link too, because Torkoal, taking advantage of Trick Room, has not helped much. Like, there hasn't been a lot of opportunity to really bring Torkoal in safely and take advantage of Trick Room. So, Hydreigon's been really good. Armarouge and Indeedee's been good. Meowscarada's been good. But I think Amoonguss and Torkoal might need to be swapped out for something that's a little... I hesitate to say, like, Goldengo. Goldengo might actually fit pretty well in this team. And it's hard to say what else. Potentially Mousehold? Or potentially Garchomp. Garchomp and Hydreigon have a lot of natural synergy also. But that's going to be the episode here. So this team has been struggling a little bit. We did get a really interesting battle where we got to do the Psychic Terrain Expanding Force nonsense. And if it gets going, it's hard to stop. But we only were able to get it up once. And other than that, we did really noticeably struggle to do a lot of damage. So we are going to do one more episode with this team. See if we can get a little bit better hang of piloting it. And then after the next episode, we will change it up to another team that I have waiting in the wings, and we'll see how we can do with that one. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like, and make sure that you're subscribed for more VGC content, Pokemon Scarlet Violet Battle Stadium. We have one more episode with this team. We'll see if we can take it over 500. Right now, we are under 500, 2-3. But you know what? The Phillies were under 500 prior to June, and we made it to the goddamn World Series. So I believe in this team, and I'm going to be here dancing on my own. So we'll see how that goes in the next episode. So I hope you're excited for that. I know I am. I will see you then. Goodbye.